Hi everyone, it's Lennon, and today I'm going to be talking about something so exciting. And I have made several videos like as 2020, as we are in 2020, okay? And I've already uploaded them. But I did very much want to come on here and talk about my word of the year. And this is huge, people, because we are in a new decade. I know that there's been a lot of hype about that, but I soul searched about, I usually don't do the word of the year because I just go off my intuition, right? But upon reading posts and, studying what the full and new moon dates were going to be, and I just got really excited. And I do a lot of journaling. Like, y'all know me, I have one of these notebooks in like all of my videos, and I've got a whole video up on my notebooks alone. So I'm not going to go into that today, but I do a lot of journaling, a lot of automatic writing, which is where I just plug in like a keyword and I go with it, right? And I soul searched about, because of the dynamic of the year itself, okay? I really journaled about that alone, and my plans. Of course, we kind of do that at the beginning of every year, right? Kind of go over goals or resolutions, right? A lot of us do tarot spreads like Wheel of the Year, and I very much do all of that. And I usually don't pick a word, but this year one popped out, or so to speak. And when I think of 2020, I think hindsight is 2020, right? Eyesight, right? Hindsight. And then I was like, okay, well, what does hindsight mean? Right? That took me on a journaling journey, all on just that topic alone, hindsight. So I looked up the definition, and I'm going to tell you what it is. Understanding of a situation or event, but only after it has happened or developed. When you really think about the dynamic of that and the prophecy that is hindsight's 2020, and that you really don't know until it's happened and you can look back on something, okay, that it really begins to sink in to your brain, so to speak. And I'm just going to talk in terms of that first, that. But, I kind of thought that's the definition of hindsight, but then I thought, okay, well then what really does the phrase hindsight 2020 mean? And it says, I looked it up, y'all know me, it is easy to know the right thing to do after something has already occurred, but it's hard to predict the future. Some of us don't want to predict the future, okay? We just want to be confident in our own abilities that when the time comes or when the event arises, we'll know and hear what to do. And I believe that starts within. I believe being confident in self and soul and being able to face certain situations, it comes from a place of knowing yourself, okay? And it really does come from a place of mentality, emotions, like all of that rolled out into that situation. And if you're not, okay, stable, I'll say stable, a lot of us can face a whole bunch of stuff, and we all there's different variables with what people can endure, situationally speaking. But my thought patterning was this. There's been a lot of posts about looking back, right? Past pictures, past this, past that. Where I've been, because I value where I've been, and I need to value where I've been, but I can't let that consume me, right? Me and my family even did that photo thing, let's look at a photo from 10 years ago, right? And you're like, oh. And sometimes you're able to see, that's hindsight. You're able to see, looking back, how you've changed, how you've grown, where the path has led. There's been a lot of things on Instagram, right? Those beautiful things that you can just plug in and put in your stories. And it was like, what job did you have? What house did you live in? Stuff like that. And I thought that was a great hindsight exercise. And it is. But I want to move forward. And I want to move forward not in just let's look how much I've grown, but let's see where the future can take and how I can start within. And so, my word is not hindsight. It's mindsight. I don't even know if that's a word. I made it up, people, for this year, for this reason. And I've come up with so many ideas, okay, because a lot of us, we pick our words, or we have an intention, or we have some kind of affirmation for the year, right? Going forward, along with looking back and in hindsight. But a lot of us have that. But then come March, that's kind of fizzled out, so to speak. We kind of forget our resolutions by then. You know, life gets in the way, yada, yada. And I thought, okay, you know what? If I'm going to do this, if this is going to be my word of the year, and I don't want to allow myself to forget, because remember I said I want to start within here. So I have to actually affirm that within myself. I'm going to stick with something, okay? Sticking with goals can be hard anyway, unless you're really, for me it is, okay? I'll say for me. But inside, I really want to be able to stick with it in a way that is useful and practical, and I can use that to grow even more, okay? And if you watched my sacred geometry video, our consciousness is wanting to expand. I'm constantly wanting to learn new things. I'm constantly wanting to make connections, okay? And even further cement connections that are already in my life, not necessarily make new ones. And that's important too, right? So, mindsight. I love that word now because I want to say it all the time. But what I've effectively done, okay, is I have come up with an exercise / ramble that I can do here on the channel to activate my voice about this, because I know I'm going to want to talk about it, every month. And I have chosen to do one video for each month, and I'll ramble a little bit about a certain topic, okay, that's specifically mindset. Okay, so we're talking third eye opening, intuition, whatever, meditation, okay, drawing stuff out from the darkness, so that can be shadow work, and then using tarot, how to use tarot to go in, and not just to dive into the shadow, but to go into self, to go into third eye. So I really thought that was a great way for me to open up, and me too, because I really want to I want to put my own self on the surgical table, so to speak. I want to be able to open myself up and then find some things out about myself, right? And y'all can come on the journey with me. So, let's go over a few things, okay, about my ideas. Now, I got big plans, people, but I've chosen to do, like I said, a video, one video a month, just one. And I've done it that way because I could further myself and make that branch out. But that's a goal that I feel like I can stick with. I can stick with at least one video a month to really talk about a specific subject. And then if I want to keep expanding on that, I can. But for now, I've just plugged into my calendar, this is what I'm going to do, right? It's like you put workout on your calendar. That's what I did. So because I really want to stabilize the calendar for these exercises, because I think that if I let it go and I don't try to come up with some sort of system, okay, to calculate when I'm going to do it, then it'll be kind of like one of those resolutions that just kind of fizzles out, right? The fire dies. And I don't want that. Okay? So I have actually done the work, okay, some of the work, and really dived and really just plugged in some topics, 12 topics, that I'm going to want to dive a little bit deeper in. And then along those 12 journeys, I can find stuff out about myself, okay? And I'll have an activity for every video. That can be a tarot spread, visualization technique, meditation technique, okay? I'll leave a lot of links to stuff that within my journey that I find, like resource materials, maybe even some videos of people that do stuff along these same lines. And I really think that when we expand, okay, again, think of sacred geometry, we're shedding a lot of light into our consciousness, right? And I'm wanting to embody a whole bunch of archetypes within these exercises as well. I want to shed light, okay? I want to be my own flashlight inside. And I think that is think that that's going to be important for me. It can get very personal. It's probably going to get very emotional. We'll see where it goes, right? But I'm so excited because I had this Hindsight 2020 epiphany like back in November. Like I was like, oh, what, next year's 2020. Oh my God, hindsight's 2020. And then I just kind of went on that. So, like I said, I've got a topic and I've just written like a few bullet points that I want to go over. And then as they come up, okay, so each month I will actively work on it. And then I will only make a video about that for the new moon. Okay, because when we think of in terms of moon cycles, okay, and this is what I do with my moon cycles. So the full moon, that's that time of letting go, right? It's everything's come to fruition, and that is the time that you kind of you're getting rid of what hasn't served you, right? And because you've come full circle, so to speak, you know what doesn't serve you, so you're letting it go. You're like, okay, well, this last lunar cycle, this kind of didn't serve me, so I'm not gonna try to banish / let go of some of the things that didn't serve me, and that hopefully that is expanding myself. But then the new moon, okay, because the new moon in terms of lunar cycles is the beginning. The new moon is day 0. Okay, the cycle is just starting over. So that's new beginnings, right? That's creating something, that's starting new projects, right? I mean, there's so much other things we can plug in for full and new moon. Maybe I'll make a video about that. But so I decided, I was like, okay, well, if the full moon is banishing stuff, but I'm wanting to come in and I'm wanting to expand and I'm wanting to create and I'm very much wanting to actually do things with this word, do things with these activities, okay? And if I'm doing that, then that just makes more sense to start at the new moon with that. Again, this is what I'm getting from this. So this is going to be a whole year's endeavor, okay? And again, this might become personal, this might become emotional for me, and I might be really trying to expand in a way that, or I am going to, I'm probably going to expand in ways that I can't foresee. And that's the purpose of hindsight, right? In December, okay, I very much think that I could be able to look back on the tarot spreads that I do and the meditations that I do and the activities, and just maybe just even the research on the topics alone will be enough for me to look back in hindsight. And then it'll teach me something about my mind and my third eye and my intuition, okay? Maybe even activating the divine feminine and masculine energies within myself, okay? We've kind of talked about that on the channel already. And it's going to be so fun. And I'm excited to put it out. And for anyone that wants to, say you want to participate in some of the activities or do your own research on some of the topics that I do, that would be great, okay? You can, like this, yes, this is my word for the year, but that doesn't mean that you can't participate, that you can't grow and expand with me, that when I bring up a topic and you're like, you know, that really resonates with me, I'm going to feel that, and that's a connection, okay? Us and the cosmos. And I'm looking forward to that. And I'm looking forward to that, and then I'm looking forward to, at the end of this year, looking back and then seeing what I can see in hindsight, right? And like I said before, when we look in the past, we really kind of look at the past in terms of how much we've grown. And it'll be kind of exciting to see where it goes. So, I encourage everyone, January's will be Friday the 24th. That's the new moon for January, and that's when I'll post my very first Mindsight video, okay? And I hope everybody can join me on the journey, so I hope to see you then.